Okay, good evening. It's 6:02. This is the April 15th regular Huntley Community School District 158 board meeting. Can we have roll call, please? Oh, I didn't see Julie's in.
Okay. Mr. Fagliano?
Here.
Mr. Guerin?
Here.
Mr. Gentry? Mr. Craddy? Here. Mrs. Melendi?
Here.
Mr. Troy, I'm here, and Mrs. Myarino.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum to start. Item 2 is closed session, so I'd like to make a motion to move in the closed session at 6:02. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Mrs. Myarino. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Myarino?
Yes.
Mr. Troy, yes. Mrs. Melendi?
Yes.
Mr. Fagliano?
Yes.
Mr. Gentry? Mr. Craddy? Yes. Mr. Guerin? Yes.
Okay, we'll be in closed session.
Now I'm going to have
Okay, thank you for your patience. We are back in open session. It is 7:10. Can we have roll call?
Mr. Gentry?
Here.
Mr. Guerin?
Here.
Mr. Troy?
Here.
Mr. Quagliano?
Here.
Mrs. Melendi?
Here.
Mrs. Maiorino? Here. Mr. Craddy?
Here.
Okay, we're all here. There is no action coming out of a closed session, so we'll skip 3.1 and we'll move on to the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, item 5 is public comment. Do we have any public comment? No public comment. Okay. Item 6, even better, student recognition.
So we are very excited to we'll have 3 different groups come through, so we have enough space for parents and family to come on in. But we have our young author winners, and we're going to start with our K2, and Mrs. Gibbs will be introducing them. We're going to do it a little different than we normally do. Mrs. Gibbs, do you want to have them line up here first, then we'll do the picture behind face? Oh, that's fine, we got it all. We go on the fly, that's good. Perfect.
Come all the way over here. I'm just gonna stage them and then they're gonna hold it up.
Perfect. So we're gonna have them do picture instead of walking around, and then we'll get our awards and all of those kinds of things, so.
Mom and Dad, okay? All right. Good evening. We are so excited to introduce our kindergarten, first, and second grade Young Authors winners. I'm Mrs. Gibbs, and I'm our K2 Young Authors coordinator. We have some wonderful entries this year. We're so glad that in the midst of everything this year, the kids were still able to have the opportunity to showcase some of their talents, and they did a fabulous job. So boys and girls, hold your books up high, and when I say, well, not over your face, but, you know, when I say your name, you can hold it up, and we're going to wait there till the end, okay? So from Cheswick Kindergarten, we have Darian Krieger with his book, The Orange Dog and the Blue Dolphin. Good job. You guys can clap. And from Cheswick in first grade, we have Ryan Kraus with his book, Dreamland. There you go. And in second grade from Cheswick, we have Amber Drago with Kevin the Butterfly. From McCabe in kindergarten, we have Blake Lauer with Fred Gets Stuck. From McCabe in first grade, we have Reagan Rogers with Llama Drama. In second grade, we have Anthony Bajogovic. Boyevich. Oh my goodness. Thank you. With Tyler, the Walking, Talking Toothbrush. And from Legee first grade, we have Lily Landgraf with Unicorn Tales. And from second grade at Legee, we have Blake Cushman with the Super Food Truck Stand. And that is our K2 winners. Congratulations to all of you boys and girls.
And if you guys could stay right there, we are going to get to your medals, and then we're going to let moms and dads take pictures, okay? All right.
Congratulations. Fred gets stuck. Where does Fred get stuck? On a branch? Oh, you're welcome. Congratulations. So can anybody tell me, how long did it take you to do your book?
day for the pictures.
Couple days for pictures?
It's supposed to be like 1 day.
How about the writing?
Oh, a day on the
Same
same day.
day?
One.
I was gonna say, it'll take you weeks. Put them on. There you go. Here, I'll put it. Yes. Congratulations to you all.
Wait for you guys to get behind and we'll take some pictures.
Never gets old, Bill. Congratulations,
You guys can come and your parents, and if you want to take more pictures,
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing them.
Thank you.
Awesome, thanks so much. Congratulations, Lynn. Congratulations to you all. Awesome job.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. My brother went down to the States, and I just found his the other, like, maybe 3 months ago. And the stand up stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
The disappearing caveman.
Yeah, they went to get them.
Disappearing cave.
Ours are encased in
It's called,
kitchen cabinet.
It's called evolution.
All right? That's what it used to be, it used to be mandatory part of the curriculum, now it's optional.
Yep.
So, so the fact that these kids are still doing it, I think it's great. I know, still waiting for that casserole.
Figuring out how to make that.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that as well. Well, now we have the dog. All right.
Come on in.
Good evening, my name is Laura Brummer. I'm the Young Author Coordinator for 1st through 6th grade, and I'm proud to be here tonight to lead these kids into their next phase, getting their award for Young Authors for reading the best books for their grade level at their school. So I'll start with Martin. Brian Mickelson, he wrote The Three Reindeer from Mrs. Gross's class. Adriana Armstrong wrote Hannah's Adventure on the Moon from Mrs. Crow's class. Nicholas Kasparek wrote The Amazing Ninja Cat, and he's from Mrs. Anbar's class. From Conley, we have Nathan Sterry, and he wrote Monkey and I Become Friends, and he's from Mrs. Piper's class. Ava Partridge wrote The Adventures of Corgi the Corgi, and he's from Mrs. Price's class. Isabella Amador wrote The Fable, and she's from Mrs. Gagney's class. From McGee, Calix Ramos, wrote The Flushers from Mrs. Goldberg's class. Grace and Ruth wrote The Great Adventure of Captain Dog from Mrs. Marshan's class. And Keely Davis wrote Magic in the Forest from Mrs. Soul's class. Congratulations.
All right, you guys can just wait there. We're going to get medals and pictures, okay? As soon as we get those, you guys can take as many pictures as you need, all right?
Just made it up? Hannah's adventure on the moon. Excellent. Great job. So why wasn't it 4 reindeer? How did you choose 3?
Don't really know.
You don't know. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Great job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm showing you a book if you want to. You passed. Thank you. All right, great job. Congratulations, guys.
They're getting taller.
Yeah. Kevin and
I need to get those stuff up.
Yeah, I got it. I sent that other one to you.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Good job.
Yeah.
Thank you for your.
Thank you, no,
Thank you.
thank you for coming, appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Good night.
I wish to do something like that. I feel like it's been so long.
Real long. Years.
Yeah.
Are they up? 20 of them.
How are you?
They can land behind you and then. when
Yeah,
you're
they're
done,
gonna
they
come
can
up
walk
around
out.
when they
You guys
just
will come stand here, I guess, behind me.
go.
Good evening. I'm Tammy Carpenter. I'm the Young Authors Coordinator for both middle schools. And we are very pleased to honor our outstanding young authors from both schools tonight. From Marlowe Middle School, Julieta Ceballos, with her story, Saranje Sunflower. Also from Marlowe Middle School, Neha Gopalakrishnan, with her story, The Hidden Prophecy. And from Heinemann, we have Tanush Galati with his story, The Midnight Key. Also, Shruti Gouda's story, House of Lightning. She was not able to attend tonight. Very, very talented writers. Wish you could read their stories. They're wonderful.
Publish them. So have them come on.
Go around back.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations. You guys got any, with the young guys, you got any pictures in that?
Yeah.
I mean, that you drew yourself? Or do your own? The old guy. You did?
Yeah, I mean.
They're writers. How long did you put a little time in. How about you guys? How long did you guys take?
It took me about a month.
3 months? That's great. Great job.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so I'll have to go down there and we'll take a picture.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
That's terrible. Just started writing. Good for you. Congratulations.
You guys can feel free to stand up and take pictures.
I mean, Leslie's stool. You guys can stand up and take better pictures. Come up front, take pictures.
We don't mind.
Get good pictures.
You got a killer smile on there.
I know. Operational efficiency. Congratulations, guys.
Great job, guys. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
It was a well-needed breath of fresh air, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's great to see kids of all ages, and especially great to see that they're working hard on their books, some of them many months. It's sad, so. Yep, it does feel a lot more normal. Okay, item 7 is the revision and adoption of the agenda. So, Lombard, do you have anything?
Nothing more, thank you.
Dr. Schlichter, anything?
Nothing tonight.
Okay. Mr. Altmeyer? Nothing. Dr. Zaire? Dr. Bazinski?
Nothing to thank.
Nothing. Dr. Del Castillo? Easy for me to say. All right. Anything else anybody would like revised or removed from the agenda? Okay. Then I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the following items deleted. Delete item 8, delete item 9, delete item 10, delete item 11, delete item 12, delete item 13. So a second? Second from Mrs. Maiorino. I think this is, all those, I was going to say roll call, yeah, I really remember here. Go ahead and do roll call on that.
Mr. Troy?
Yes.
Mrs. Melendi?
Yes.
Mr. Gentry?
Yes.
Mr. Fagliano?
Yes.
Mrs. Maiorino? Yes. Mr. Guerin?
Yes.
Mr. Craddy?
Yes. Okay. On to item 14, community relations and student outreach. We have our FOIAs in there. Anyone with any questions or comments concerning the FOIAs? If not, then we can move on to item 15, which is superintendent's report.
All right, just a couple of things this evening. I'd like to start by sharing the fact that we obviously, for the last couple of weeks, we've welcomed back our secondary students full-time to now all of our students, K through 12, have the option of attending full-time 5 days a week. We still face some of the same transportation challenges. However, our efforts continue. You'll begin to see additional levels of recruitment around town with some visuals of buses parked in some common areas and just trying to attract anyone's eye that we have the opening. So we're excited about that. I also wanted to share some details about our return that caught my eye when Dr. Budzinski and I were talking about some of the statistics, just to put a visual to how many of our students have come back. Put it up on the screen so you see. District-wide, 63% of our students are back in person attending 5 days full day. At the high school, 40%, just under 41%. In Marlow, 68%. Heinemann, 70%. And then our elementary school is much higher, at the 76 plus to 80% and 85% of our early childhood. Some of the statistics, the high school in particular, kind of surprised me that it would still be at only 40%. But at the same time, we're obviously very happy that we are able to offer the opportunity for our students to have a choice, and our families have a choice in how they're receiving their education right now. So just that statistic was all I had there.
On that particular note, is that, I don't quite know how to phrase the question, but if you were hybrid before, is it some percentage of hybrid returning full-time or?
No, you're either full-time in person or you are full-time remote.
Right, so I guess is that the 60-40 split, or is there people kind of, the 40 just seemed low, and I was trying to understand if that.
I think some of it does have to do with some of our secondary students that opted for remote and wanted to come back in person. Mm-hmm. We haven't been able to accommodate them all in terms of transportation. Mm-hmm. Our elementary numbers, I believe all but 4 of our elementary families have been able to have been accommodated to this point with transportation, but their secondary has been different, because when they opted in to remain remote in December, as we laid out what our progression was going to be, we don't have the space on our buses at this moment. But that number would go up if we were able. We have about, if you remember from last month when I presented, I wanted to say there was about 50% of our students 50% of the remaining students that were remote were wanting to come back.
Okay.
So we do have 175, 180 families secondary that are wanting to return and waiting for transportation opportunities to open up.
Okay, gotcha.
Any other questions on?
There's no issue with they have a car.
Oh, no issue whatsoever. If they are able to provide their own transportation, some families have figured that out and have returned. In fact, there were some surprises that we weren't expecting them to return, and they figured it out, and we've accommodated that and adjusted our numbers. So
I just want to make sure that wasn't.
No. If they're able to accommodate their own transportation and find that option, they're welcome, and we're working that out just fine. I thought the statistics were interesting to me, so I thought you might appreciate that as well. And then finally here, planning for the fall is obviously a hot topic that everyone is interested in. So planning for the fall is underway. I expect to have a more formal update some point next month. But we're planning for a full return at all levels in the fall. Obviously, transportation is something we're still going to have to overcome as we go through the summer. One of the things that I think is important to understand is that when the 50-person or 50 people per bus is lifted, it does not solve all of our problems. And I think it's really important that we all understand that. It will solve some, and we're going to be able to accommodate more people when that is lifted, but we are still short bus drivers. So our active recruitment for drivers, meaning what I just shared about, you'll see buses parked in the community with signs trying to attract just passersby to know that there's an opportunity here, was we have also been reaching out to several local CDL training facilities and academies, trying to attract drivers that may not have thought about driving a bus to offer that option, as well as trying to understand where drivers are coming from who are seeking a CDL to see if there's additional layers of recruitment that we haven't pursued before to tap into that interest. As we've been sharing this on social media, we've got members of our community that are tagging their friends who might be interested in this, and we're hopefully that's going to translate into people coming on board and allowing us to begin that training process. Again, that training process, once you obtain your CDL, we will pay for and take you through the entire process to obtain your bus driver certification to then drive for us. So that recruitment continues, but we do need more drivers before we are going to be able to accomplish a 100% full return in August. That said, you may have noticed there's been some news articles about districts deciding that they're going to continue with remote offerings. This has been a long-term vision of ours to offer online courses in an a la carte fashion in the district, and it was one of our strategic planning goals for this year to build that plan. And the work continues in that fashion and is moving. It's moving forward very nicely. However, there's a marriage between current remote and future online that I look forward to fleshing out. And our future vision for online does not look like what remote learning is today, but our development of online courses to be offered at the secondary, like our high school level, is beginning. And we're going to begin seeing next year some of the online courses that we begin developing will serve as some of the courses that our students are able to take if they need to be remote. The internal conversations are to what extent is remote offered. Obviously, we all value the choice that we're able to offer families. And currently the state has shifted their guidelines that remote is afforded for those with a medical need. Now, we have continued to offer remote for our families, anyone who wants it the remainder of this year, in particular with our transportation struggles. And our internal conversations that will come out more to fruition when I present maybe next month, is what exactly our plan is going to be for offering remote beyond medical. So it's a healthy conversation happening internally. And there's going to be a transition period of what remote looks like and how that builds toward our future of online courses being offered in an a la carte fashion like blended is, where you can take a course traditional, you can take it blended. There may be an option for you to take one or two online when the world returns to some semblance of normalcy. But we'll explain that in detail, but I wanted to give an update, as I know what next year looks like is on everyone's mind. And I do expect the state guidance to come this month. At least that's the word that I'm hearing. And with that ought to be able to allow us to shore up some of the assumptions that we're making and deliver a more concrete presentation that our families can begin planning for next year as to what to expect. So, if there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Otherwise, I ought to have a much more comprehensive presentation next month. That's all I have.
Questions? Nothing over there? Nothing. All right. Do you have anything further on your update, or is it?
That's it.
It's it?
All finished. Thank you.
No problem. Okay. Item 16, President's Report. Sorry. Being the tax season kind of, so I've been pretty tight up. I don't have any major deep thoughts here right now, but yeah, just other than to continue to encourage people to, get vaccinated so we can get this thing completely ramped up as best we can here by the start of the next school year. I mean, I hear what you're saying, and I don't know, it's somewhat disappointing to hear that only 40% of them are in. I mean, it's their choice. I respect that. That's fine. But at some point we do want to be able to operate, in the fashion that we had operated previously. So I think it's obviously at state level, I think we're in between 20 and 25% fully vaccinated. So just over the next 3-4 months, we gotta get ourselves all vaccinated so we can all be around each other a heck of a lot more. So, just continue down that path. Move on to item 17, legislation committee. We had any additional updates?
Not really from last week. They're still in session. They got back on Monday. The only thing to add that, came out earlier this week was that Biden announced the infrastructure, plan of 2.3 trillion. And out of that, 100 billion, is going to be used for investments for existing structures and buildings for new K through 12 schools. So, probably more to come in the next 2 weeks when we're back here for our special.
Right, okay. All right. Anybody else have anything that they're in tune to legislatively?
I'll add, Senate Bill 508, was in committee and was heard, to be heard yesterday at 4 o'clock, and it moved out of, the Revenue Committee and onto, the floor for the second hearing. So good news there. To that bill, reading with it, I'd say.
Hearing.
Second reading. So good news there. So, just wanted to share that with the board, so that continues to move forward.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
Dr. Ross, I have a question real quick. Looking to next year, sorry, just come back. Are you still thinking that we're going to stick with the block schedule for next year? Or are you thinking turn back?
If I could, I would prefer to hold off until a more comprehensive presentation that,
Okay.
I know I have my opinion of the block schedule that probably aligns with yours, but, we are still collaborating with our buildings.
Okay.
But I'll be back next month with more detail.
Thank you.
Sure. Item 18 is the consent agenda. Are there any items on the consent agenda that anybody needs pulled from consent? If not, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Do I have a second? Second from Ms. Melendi. Can we have roll call?
Mr. Troy?
Yes.
Mrs. Melendi?
Yes.
Mr. Gentry?
Yes.
Mr. Graziano?
Yes.
Mrs. Maiorino? Yes. Mr. Darren?
Yes.
Mr. Craddy?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Item 19, action items. We have 19.1 is our principal mentor contract.
And the principal mentor contracts are presented tonight for your approval. Dr. Connie Collins, Dr. Brad Hawk, and Dr. Jill Hawk, we're recommending those folks to be mentors for our new principals this year. Dr. Collins, we will be teaming her up with Rashonda Henson. Dr. Hawk, we will be teaming him up with Bill Johnson over at Marlowe, and then Dr. Jill Hawk will be teaming her up with Paula Moan over at McCabe. So the mentors, provide guidance and also an ear that is outside of the district from very seasoned administrators here.
Yeah, all three of these people are highly respected. We've worked with them quite a bit. That's great. Contractually, why, do they spend any time here, mentoring?
Yeah, they'll come to the buildings.
So what kind of time commitment do we get out of them?
It really depends on the principal themselves. So Dr. Rowe and I are actually going to work on this also with Ms. Lombard a little bit to have a little bit more structure to it than what there's been in the past. So have them work on some more specific topics. But we really kind of leave that up to the principal too. So there's going to be some times that they'll be scheduled to meet, but sometimes there's a phone call. It just depends on, schedules too. But we're going to set something up where there's a more consistent time that they're coming in. So we're hoping, 2 to 3 times a month to start things off. And then that'll probably lighten up a little bit as we get into the school year.
Okay. Well, definitely, I don't know about you. I can't think of 3 better people to mentor from that standpoint. So that's
My thoughts exactly.
I don't know how we get that kind of talent helping us out that well, but it's great. So, anybody else have any questions concerning that? Okay. Then I'd like to make a motion to approve the principal mentor contract, as presented in the agenda. Second.
Second.
Second from Ms. Melendi. Can we have roll call?
Mr. Cray?
Yes.
Mr. Guerin?
Yes.
Mr. Gentry?
Yes.
Mrs. Melendi?
Yes.
Mrs. Iarino? Yes. Mr. Quagliano?
Yes.
Mr. Troy?
Yes.
Motion passes. 19.2 is the Huntley High School ancillary serving station coffee shop agreement. Mr. Altman.
Thank you very much. Very pleased to present you the Quest Consulting Agreement. Doug and I, both Mr. Rinkosik and I, had the opportunity to review that agreement, and I also had the opportunity to reach out to several districts that are utilizing Quest, which I did previously, but I reached out again specifically for the coffee shops and received absolutely glowing references on Quest and their management and oversight and their consulting with regard to the coffee shop. Also called on those districts just to absolutely make sure that what we're looking at in terms of fees and everything were reasonable. They appear very reasonable. In fact, many of the other districts that are utilizing Quest are on a revenue arrangement for which Quest is taking, well, almost double or triple than what we're seeing here. So I think we have a very good deal, very reasonable deal in front of us. Very flexible 3-year consulting agreement with a 90-day out notice. They are providing on-site management, as they talked about last week, labor and management, a full-time employee, year 1 with the option to reduce that thereafter if we want to, or eliminate that position. So a very favorable agreement. The obligations of a Quest, as noted within the agreement, include numerous things. The agreement states that it's going to start July 1, but the fact of the matter is it's going to start as soon as we start moving forward, because they will assist us in developing and launching the cafe, training food services staff, assisting the district with the menus, the recipes, and other things needed to deliver what we want to deliver at the high school, as well as making recommendations along the way. So they do not step away. They will be very involved day 1 through the end of the year. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any other questions you may have, but administration is making the recommendation to move forward with this consulting agreement with Quest Food Management Services.
Okay. Questions?
Mark, is this going to be ready for the beginning of next school year then?
Yeah, the hope is that we're going to launch a meeting next week to bring all parties together to make sure that we are tracking. It's going to be, we're going to do the best we absolutely can internally with Doug and his team and Quest to make this happen day 1 when kids come back. That's our ultimate goal.
Yeah, I mean, by approving it now gives you a fighting chance to get,
Correct.
Get in place, yeah.
One question I had, I paused a little bit when I saw the term of the contract. If you could speak to kind of the rationale behind 3 years versus 2, I guess would be a number in my...
Well, that was at the request of Quest and with all their other companies that they generally do business with from a food services standpoint, as well as from a consulting coffee shop standpoint. They generally enter into a 3-year agreement. That being said, they also want to make it very flexible in that they understand that we may not need their on-site labor and management, right. Number 1. And that if we do feel like we could move forward without them in the future, that is why there is a 90-day out as well.
But it's not a 90-day out on the core consulting cost. It's a 90-day out on the body in place, if I was reading it right.
It's with regard to the whole agreement.
Oh, okay.
As it's stated that under the term of the agreement.
Okay. I must have misunderstood that then.
Yeah.
So if disaster strikes, you got a 90-day notice.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Then I'm fine. And then you're comfortable with how their obligations are defined in the contract? It seemed, to me, it struck me as a little bit open-ended, but I think it's...
Yeah, maybe a little bit open-ended, but based on my conversations with the Lake Forest and the Barringtons and the New Triers and the other school districts that are utilizing Quest, I'm very comfortable.
Okay.
And they've been in business a very, very long time.
Okay.
good questions. Anything further, Mr. Troy, Mr. Craddy, anything? Melissa, anything? Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty thorough discussion at the Cal meeting, so pretty well satisfied, especially with the reputation that they've had with these other districts and the due diligence Mr. Altmeyer has performed on this, so I'm good with it. So I'll make a motion to approve the Huntley High School ancillary serving station coffee shop agreement. Second for Mr. Garrett. Can we have roll call?
Mr. Gentry?
Yes.
Mr. Guerin?
Yes.
Mr. Troy?
Yes.
Mrs. Melendi?
Yes.
Mr. Quagliano?
Yes.
Mrs. Maiorino?
Yes.
Mr. Craddy?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. 19.3 is the supplemental purchase orders listed. Anybody have any questions related to those? Okay, if not, I'll make a motion to approve the supplemental purchase orders as presented in the agenda in the amount of $151,837.82. Can I have a second? Second from Mr. Craddy. Can we have a roll call?
Mr. Quagliano?
Yes.
Mr. Gentry?
Yes.
Mrs. Maiorino?
Yes.
Mr. Troy?
Yes.
Mrs. Melendi?
Yes.
Mr. Guerin?
Yes.
Mr. Craddy?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. 19.4 is the ISA annual membership renewal. Lombard, any comments there?
Just wanted to point out, this is an annual topic that we bring forward so that we are able to participate in the Illinois Elementary School Association for our sports and our activities. What you'll notice on there, there's a lot of asterisks for payments that we made that we will be credited for next year. So those things, instead of refunding, they did credit those. But there is an increase for the annual membership. I believe it used to be $75. They have increased that for all schools to $300 annually for next year. That is because of a lot of the lost revenue to be able to participate and to provide these opportunities for our students moving forward. As you know, the state events were not held this year, and they do bring in a lot of revenue for the association. And so that is an increase there. Otherwise, very minimal increases in each of the activities. But again, the majority of those we did not participate in, and we were able to get that credit for that. So we're seeking this approval, and then next month we'll be bringing the IHSA one.
Okay.
Any questions?
I see golf is on the list this year. Is that happening?
Yeah, so we had a parent request actually for this school year at one of the schools. They wanted to see if their student was able to participate. We kind of talked about that with a few of the different groups and working with both of the middle schools, similar to kind of giving it a try with some of the clubs and activities. This parent wanted to be able to have their child participate, but would be covering, you know, any practice fees and all those things, greens, and providing, you know, their own polo, those things, being the coach, if you will. And this request did come over from Marlowe. Heidemann did not have that same, but we would offer that opportunity if that did arise. So we put that possibility there. So if there were individuals who were interested in that, if that is something that is growing, that would be something that we'd go through the ECC committee to look at as a potential addition later. With the individual, it's team, but as you know, golf is individual as well. They are limited to the number of students that would be able to go on to the state series. So that would, I believe it's 6, is that correct, Dr. Zaire? That could go forward with that. And so that will be something that they will, you know, let parents know that that is that opportunity for, but it would be on this first year kind of working with, we would have school administration at the events and those kinds of things. And there may be parents who would be, you know, willing to kind of let the kids practice together and those kinds of things. So something we're investigating, we want to put that out there because that interest is starting to grow at the middle school level.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Good question. Okay. Any other questions? concerning that. All right. Then I'll make a motion to approve the IESA annual membership renewal as presented. A second.
Second.
Second from Mr. Troy. Can we have roll call?
Mr. Craddy?
Yes.
Mr. Gentry?
Yes.
Mr. Garrett?
Yes.
Mrs. Melendi?
Yes.
Mrs. Iarino? Yes. Mr. Troy?
Yes.
Mr. Graziano?
Yes. Okay, motion passes, which leads us to the end of our meeting. So I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:55.
Okay.
Second, Ms. Melendi. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're done. Good night.